Today on Studio One, some people can't wait to get their hands on those pictures they just took. We'll spend a day in the life of a 1-hour photo clerk. Also, Bison roamed the open plains of the Midwest long before busy intersections and video games. We'll see what it takes to raise a herd of bison in the modern world. And we'll tell you how one state stands alone in making it easier for its residents to vote.
From the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks, this is Studio One.
Hello everyone and welcome to Studio One. I'm Monty Cashel.
And I'm Kelly Anderson. Thanks for joining us today.
Yes, thanks for joining us this early November.
It's a beautiful November day out there today.
It is gorgeous outside. And, you know, every month has its own little, I guess, designation, holiday.
Yeah, we're supposed to kind of commemorate something every month.
Right.
I'm not sure who gets to decide that.
I got a little curious, and so I started doing a little research into all the different months and their holidays. And November here's just a short list of some of the things it's supposed to be. Adoption Month, Alzheimer's Disease Month, Aviation History Month, Diabetes Month.
All of these in November?
Drum Month.
Drum Month.
Good
I don't
Nutrition
think there's
Month.
time in November to celebrate all of these.
But hey, Peanut Butter Lovers Month is November.
Well, thank goodness. It's about time we recognize peanut butter for all that it does for us.
And it is Adoption Month, and we do actually have an adoption counselor on that will be talking later in the show about adoption.
So we're doing our part to celebrate Adoption Month.
Right, and awareness. Also on the show, before Americans turned out to vote in the recent election, they first had to register. We'll tell you how in one state that rule does not apply.
If you're an adult, you probably have one. If you're a young student, chances are you'll need one. Jobs are an important part of most people's lives. We'll give you some tips on how to get through the job finding process.
But first, today's news with Haley Wamstead.
Thanks, Monty and Kelly. The Democratic Party could soon be changing its leadership after taking a hit in the recent election. Republicans regained control of the Senate and increased their majority in the House. As a result, House Minority Leader Dick Gephardt has indicated he will be giving up his leadership position. Representative Martin Frost of Texas announced Thursday why he should be elected as the new minority leader. House Whip Nancy Pelosi of California is expected to vie for the position as well. The two have differing views for the future of the Democratic Party.
I believe our party must occupy the center if we are to be successful, if we're to come back in the majority, and not move farther to the left.
West Coast residents are filling sandbags to prepare for a powerful winter storm. More than 65,000 people in the San Francisco Bay Area were without power Thursday morning as the first of a series of storms raged through the region. A warning is also in effect for the Sierra Nevada region. Forecasters are predicting rainy weather to turn into snow with a possibility of up to 4 feet in the mountains. There have been a lot of complaints during recent elections about problems with the voting system, but a new law may help reassure voters. The Help America Vote Act of 2002 is designed to help states pay for new voting technology. Under the law, states will receive $3.9 billion over the next 3 years to improve voting equipment and train workers. Many precincts across the country use methods that do not allow a person to review their ballot once it has been cast. Some precincts see the new law as a chance to modernize their polling centers with computerized touchscreen ballots. Others feel their current system is adequate and new technology may add difficulties.
I think that the touchscreen method of voting might be a little confusing to some of the elderly voters. Many of them are intimidated by anything that is computerized.
The Help America Vote Act does not recommend any particular form of ballot. However, the law does require that voters have an opportunity to review their ballots before they are submitted. The law will be in effect in time for the 2004 elections. Many criminals get caught because they leave behind fingerprints, but researchers are looking into another form of identification. Several universities are working with the Federal Research Agency to develop a way to identify someone by the way they walk. So far, most of the research involves using video cameras and computers to capture and create movement signatures. When a person walks, their body creates a particular pattern. The video camera captures these points of movements and sends them to a computer for analysis. Researchers hope to have this new technology out on the market by 2004. During the recent election, voters around the country came out to the polls to cast their ballots. But before they vote, most states require residents to go through the process of voter registration. In one state, however, the voters have it a bit easier before Election Day. Many states require voters to register up to 30 days before an election. Others have same-day registration where voters can register on Election Day when they show up at the polls. But voters in North Dakota don't have to register at all. Since North Dakota has a small population, the state has decided voter registration is not necessary.
We don't turn anybody away from the polls. You got to remember, we're a small, rural state in most instances, other than, the three major population centers. So when you go out to the small precincts, most of the people who work on the election board know most of the people who live there.
But in most other states, that is not the case. Registration deadlines can keep some people from going to the polls.
So in some cases, states want to make it as difficult as possible to make sure that only people who are educated and plan ahead and what have you vote.
Enacting voter registration has been considered many times in North Dakota since the state abolished it in 1951. North Dakota state officials are studying the impact and costs of adopting voter registration. Some believe without it, there is a greater chance of voter fraud.
It's very easy, and I have heard rumors over the years of some of my students who voted absentee in their hometowns and then voted in Grand Forks, and that's fraud.
But registration may not be the answer to keeping elections honest.
In the states that have voter registration, we've all heard of the stories where dead people are registered to vote and that vote, and people vote twice. So even though there was some advantages to voter registration, it certainly isn't the cure-all to voter fraud.
Brownlee says the method North Dakota uses works well for now, but as the population becomes more urbanized, the state may run into some troubles. States that do have voter registration are faced with the costs of updating poll books and maintaining databases. And while the rest of the country may see a need for voter registration, for now, North Dakota state officials believe it's not necessary. North Dakota does give each city the option to implement voter registration, but only one city in the state has it in place. And that's news for now. Monty and Kelly?
Thanks, Haley. Well, if there's anything I'll vote for, it's good weather.
Yeah, majority rule. Let's have a hot and sunny winter.
That'd be great.
All right. Let's go to the Regional Weather Information Center with John Randall to see what his vote is for the weather.
Well, Monty and Kelly, we are seeing that very beautiful weather for today. We saw temperatures almost reaching the 60-degree mark here in Grand Forks. Let's take a look at that almanac data and just to see how warm we did get. We saw a high today, just almost hitting that 60-degree mark of 59. Pretty chilly this morning. We did have a low of 23. Typically this time of year, we should see our normal highs right around 39. And the record was set back in 1999 of 73 degrees. So we didn't quite hit our record, but it was still nothing to complain about. Currently in Grand Forks, the temperature has dropped back a little bit, is now sitting at 53 with a dew point of 31 degrees. Under mostly or partly sunny skies, we have a northwest wind at 6 miles an hour. Current temperatures, we have very, very warm conditions all across the central part of the United States. 60 degrees in Minot, 61 in Bismarck, 57 in Billings, 50 in Casper. Very nice across South Dakota and parts of Iowa and Minneapolis, or Minnesota as well. 65 Minneapolis, and the hot spot right now is 67 degrees in Des Moines, Iowa. Current surface analysis for our region shows a low pressure system sitting just off to the north of us. That warm front did push through our area last night, helping bring all that warm air into our region and giving us those beautiful temperatures. And as we zoom out, we see that cold front of that is associated with that low pressure. That will be playing a factor as we work our way through the next 48 hours for our temperatures, and high pressure dominating the skies across the rest of the country. As we slide into Friday, we see a system that is cranking up out west, is going to be creating a lot of wind and snow and rain for those of you out there. So good time to hunker down and get ready for that storm. As for us, this cold front will be pushing through our area. It'll be mainly a wind shift change. It won't knock down our temperatures all that much, even though for those of you in southern Manitoba, you'll see the temperatures dropping off significantly. Friday's forecast looks like this for Grand Forks, North Dakota. High of 49 with a low of 32 with partly sunny skies. Continued warm conditions and southwest winds at 5 to 15 miles an hour. Weather IQ, at what value on both the Fahrenheit and Celsius scales is the temperature the same? A32, B0, C -12, or D -40. Monty and Kelly will have the answer to that and your extended forecast coming up in the second half of the show.
Thanks a lot, John. Well, it is ridiculously warm out.
Isn't it great to see that map with all those 60s spattered all over?
You don't expect that in November, but
it's great.
We'll take it when we can get it.
That's right. Let's go now to sports news with Corey Morlock.
Thanks, Monty and Kelly. The New Jersey Nets got rocked in the NBA Finals last year, losing 4 straight to the Lakers. This year, they have yet to lose a game, but the Milwaukee Bucks look to end that streak Wednesday night. Head to the highlights in Milwaukee in the second. Tony Kukoc gets things started with a 3 from the top of the key. Later, a pattern starting to form as Kukoc gets another, and the Nets just haven't learned as they leave him wide open, and he drains one more. He had 5 threes on the night. In the fourth, Dan Gadzuric, running the floor, gets credit for his hustle as he goes up for the two-handed slam. Bucks win 99-93. NHL Colorado hosting the Senators, Marian Hossa with the give and the go, straight to the net for the goal. 1-0 Ottawa. In the second, Hossa showing some hustle of his own as he beats Absher top shelf. Hossa would add an empty netter for the Hattie as the Sens win 5-2. Hockey is a physical sport, and bumps and bruises have always been part of the game. However, sometimes physical play is not the cause of injuries, but rather poor ice conditions. That's why there are people at hockey arenas who work hard every day to make sure the condition of the ice does not negatively affect the game. Before every hockey game at the Ralph Engelstad Arena in Grand Forks, North Dakota, workers shave and wet down the ice. This helps prevent the ice from becoming bumpy. Bumpy ice can cause skates to get caught in the ice, but there are some factors that those in charge of the ice cannot control, like crowd behavior.
If they're skating and if they throw even plastic, they'll get on their skates and they'll go for a ride, and it could hurt them.
Weather may also play a factor in the condition of the ice. However, the new Ralph Engelstad Arena makes it a little easier to deal with the weather. Air conditioning features help control the temperature inside the arena. It's now time for the Studio One Sports Trivia question. This week's question, curling originated in which country? Is it Canada, Ireland, Scotland, or Greenland? We'll have the answer to that and more sports in the second half hour of the show. Monty and Kelly.
Thanks, Corey. Coming up, we'll learn some interesting history about the city of Detroit from rapper Eminem's new movie, 8 Mile.
And every year, many people enter the workforce. The result is some fierce competition. We'll talk with a career services advisor who will teach us some employment survival skills.
The University of North Dakota College of Business and Public Administration offers real degrees for real people. Our nationally recognized faculty can help you earn a master's degree in business through evening classes.
Taking these evening classes were very convenient for me, and that's how I was able to complete the program.
We offer degrees for people who work, raise families, and lead busy lives. The UND College of Business and Public Administration, real degrees for real people.
Let the University of North Dakota become your strategic partner by providing your business with skills to enhance your workforce retention and productivity efforts. The UND Office of Workforce Development has extensive experience in conducting employee satisfaction research, workforce needs assessments, and the development of customized training materials. Call us for further information. Workforce Development, a service of the Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota.
The University of North Dakota. You can go anywhere from here. At UND, you'll find a challenging, exciting community that draws students from across the nation and around the world. Visit our campus and join the University of North Dakota community.
Explore the educational opportunities available through the Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota. With just one phone call or a click of the mouse, you'll find high-quality programs designed for today's adults. We have a large selection of continuing education courses that are available at a time and place that's convenient for you. Discover a world of learning through the Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota.
At UND Aerospace, let your future take flight. Plan your education in the most technologically advanced collegiate and contract aerospace training environment on the planet. Graduates work for top agencies and fly for every major airline nationwide. Study on campus, via distance learning, or at any of our facilities, and you'll be where the aviation industry leaders of tomorrow are today. UND Aerospace at the University of North Dakota, Grand Forks.
You're watching Studio One, your source for news, weather, sports, and entertainment.
New college graduates are finding today's job market particularly tough to enter. In order to stay competitive, there are some things you need to know. Here to give us some tips on nailing that dream job is Career Services Advisor Mark Thompson. Mark, thanks so much for joining us today.
You're welcome, Kelly.
Now, you had told me you've worked in this industry, worked with career advising for around 20 years now. What are you seeing in the job market as compared to, the past few decades? What does today's look like?
I would say that today's job market is probably what we would call a fair job market. Last year we would have called it good. 2 years ago it probably would have been between good and excellent. So obviously we have seen a slowdown in opportunities, and the tightening of the economy has made it a more competitive job market. So our students need to get started early. They need to do a lot of things in a preparatory process so they can be very competitive for that smaller job market.
So do students need to be more knowledgeable? Is there more education required, or is it just a matter of more competition?
Well, the competition is always a factor in any time you're seeking employment. But right now the economy has slowed down, so therefore there are more people seeking for those job opportunities. I don't know that there's additional education, but there are some things students can be doing. They need to have a plan of what they want to do and how they're going to go about reaching that goal. They need to have a good professional resume, a good letter that will help introduce them to prospective employers. Certainly they need to do some practice and be very comfortable and very adept at selling themselves in the interview. And in addition, they have to use their network of people to make contacts and access job opportunities that aren't normally advertised.
Now, with your kind of insider's view with the industries, what would you say would be a good industry right now that's kind of hot to get into?
Well, there aren't a lot of real hot ones, but there are a few that are doing exceptionally better than some of the general market. Health professions are fairly strong at the present time. Nursing is experiencing some shortages now, and projections indicate additional shortages down the road. Medical lab or clinical lab sciences is also doing very well at this time. Engineering has withered the slowdown of the economy a little bit better than some of the other areas, although I would say mechanical engineering is probably not doing as well, as manufacturing has been hit quite a bit by the turndown in the economy. In addition, education is beginning to see shortages in the areas of teachers in certain parts of the country, and especially in some specialty areas such as math, sciences, music, special education, and speech-language pathology.
So there are a lot of opportunities out there. What is it that you do with your job to help students prepare for this job market?
Well, our primary purpose is to assist students and alumni in planning for and carrying out their job searches. And we work to help the student think about what it is they want to do and how they're going to go about getting there. We work with them on that professional resume. We work with them on a good letter that'll help introduce themselves. And we actually will sit down and do practice interviews with them, and we have brought employers in from the community to practice interviewing with students, so when they get into that interview, they're not practicing at the job interview for the job they really want. In addition, we provide 2 career fairs. Career fair was just held in the month of October, and we'll be holding another event in February for the spring. It gives students a great opportunity to come in contact with a significant number of employers. We had about 112 employers here in October, and we're hoping to see 70 or 80 employers here in the spring event in February.
And working with these companies, these employers that you bring in, what is it that you hear from them that they're looking for in prospective employees?
Well, in technical areas, of course, they want the individuals to have the technical skills and competencies. But in addition, they're always saying, and did say even back at the time that I was a student, long before many of today's students were born, that it's very important to have excellent written verbal communication skills, and in addition, presentation skills to be able to make presentations to clients and customers. Other things that they tell us is they think students need to get more related experiences. So our office is also very much in the forefront of cooperative education, working one's major for pay and class credit. Right now we hear a lot of companies who are saying, we will hire students who we know, who have worked with us as cooperative educational students, interns, summer employees, or even part-time employees, when they have full-time needs, as opposed to hiring somebody that they have not had work with them previously. And it's especially important to people to have hands-on experience in this tighter economy.
Okay. Can you leave us, Mark, with one big piece of advice on the best way to nail that dream job?
Well, 2 things I think I would say. I would say one thing is it's never too early to begin the search for the job that you really want. And second off, use your network and the people that you know to assist you in making that best foot forward to get access to all the jobs, as I mentioned, that are not normally advertised in today's advertised job market.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mark. It's been interesting, certainly for myself, and I'm sure for everyone else. So thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Stay tuned. We'll hear what controversial rapper Eminem has to say about his film debut, 8 Mile. And there is a job out there where complete strangers will pay you to take a look at their personal lives every day. We'll spend a day in the life of a 1-hour photo clerk later on the show.
UND's Conflict Resolution Center is your regional training resource for conflict transformation and prevention. Conflict is inevitable in the business world. Your ability to manage it is key to your success. That's where we can help. We provide on-site training, mediation, and facilitation services customized for your organization. The UND Conflict Resolution Center, capturing the positive energy of conflict and transforming it into human potential.
Why should I go to the University of North Dakota School of Engineering and Mines? Is it the small class sizes and personal attention I'll get from the faculty and staff? Is it the hands-on student projects my friends and I will work on? Is it the professional internship programs that'll help me prepare for my future career? Maybe I just want to be a part of something amazing.
Find out for yourself what makes the UND School of Engineering and Mines the perfect choice for your engineering degree. Call 1-800-CALL-UND. That's 1-800-CALL-UND.
Tradition runs deep among American Indian people. One of those traditions is helping others. At the University of North Dakota, Native American Programs is dedicated to helping students succeed. Our support services include tutoring and financial aid assistance. We have more American Indian programs than any other university in the U.S., making UND a leader in Indian education. Be a part of our tradition. Call 1-800-CALL-UND.
The School of Law at the University of North Dakota. This is a unique place, a place where you can learn with some of the best technology, where you can talk to the faculty in small class settings, a place where student activity groups enhance your education, a place which offers interaction with the court system, an affordable place where you can gain all the skills you need to get a job. Take your place at the University of North Dakota School of Law. Phone 1-800-CALL-UND.
The controversial rap artist Eminem is doing other things besides making music albums these days. Eminem plays Jimmy Smith Jr. in the new action film 8 Mile. Smith is in a struggle to get out of his poverty-stricken family life and become a successful rapper. He encounters many challenges and faces many obstacles along the way. His mother, played by Kim Basinger, is an alcoholic who is going nowhere in life and is constantly embarrassing Smith. Along the way, Smith meets Alex, a girl who is determined to succeed as a model in New York. While this ambitious duo try everything they can to reach their goals, they fall in love in the meantime. Eminem says the movie makes a point about life.
And the whole point of the movie is it doesn't matter where you come from, you know, the north side or the south side of 8 Mile, you can break out of that.
Filmed in Detroit, the film portrays the real-life atmosphere of the city. 8 Mile refers to the strip of land that separates whites and blacks living in Detroit. Eminem grew up in Detroit and says many of the movie scenes relate to his own experiences. 8 Mile opens in theaters on November 8th. Now time to take a look at the events happening in your area. Peeping into someone's private life might seem a little strange. There's one woman who does it for a living, and many of her customers keep coming back.
Thanks.
Gwen Nyhart's job involves a lot of trust from her customers. They see the sign and they expect their personal belongings back in that amount of time. Nyhart says the customers understand when they get backed up that it could take longer than 60 minutes.
The longest we've done 8 hours. Usually it's an average of about 2.5 hours, usually when we can. If we start getting past 3 hour, 4 hour mark, people usually go elsewhere. When
customers come up to the counter, they're leaving a piece of their lives in her hands. Customers may not care if someone else looks at their pictures, but sometimes they do ask. Nyhart says her job is not to thumb through a customer's personal life. It is to make sure that their pictures turn out as best they can.
Like it's too dark, too light, too green, too red, you know, it's more the colors. Every once in a while, yeah, we do look at the picture, like if it's a really cute puppy or, you know, maybe, oh yeah, you're like, oh, look at this, or the kids. You know, you do look at it. Okay.
Nyhart deals with a lot of customers every day. She says the best part of the job is interacting with the people.
Yeah, what is the cost on that?
What do you want to pay? No, just kidding.
Nyhart says many customers keep coming back, and she learns a little more about the details behind the pictures.
Yeah, so here she's wearing her dad's hat.
Pictures that are taken are not always for the greatest intention. Nyhart says she has come across a few things that have been a little too personal.
If there's pictures that, you know, that they shouldn't have taken pictures of, yeah. We actually, the negatives are theirs. We give their negatives back, but we do have the right not to print.
Nyhart gets a glimpse in the lives of many different people every day. She enjoys seeing customers leave with a piece of history that one day will get its story told. I'm James DeGelder, reporting for Studio One.
Nyhart says the film has to go through 9 different chemicals before it is complete. She says it takes about a total of 15 minutes to run through the machine. Americans like doing a lot of things from their cars, like picking up fast food or even banking. We'll tell you how some communities are using that trend to keep people healthy. And when you think of health food, you probably consider things like fruits and vegetables. But what about a buffalo burger? We'll visit a bison farm where they explain why buffalo meat is the original health food. That's story plus news, sports, and weather in the next half hour on Studio One.
North Dakota has been home to many successful entrepreneurs. George Bull and his partners found value in farina, the whitest part of wheat, and created cream of wheat. Patrick Haggerty is the founder of one of the nation's high-tech giants, Texas Instruments. And Raymond Rood's product has been used in every Olympic competition since 1960. He is responsible for the modern diving board. Ryan Foltz is the first graduate of the UND Entrepreneurship Program. Are you next?
The University of North Dakota Alumni Association and Foundation, together with thousands of alumni and friends, are making a difference at UND. Thanks to generous private support, many students have experienced the rich history, tradition, and spirit of the University of North Dakota. UND alumni and friends understand the importance of education and are proud to be part of UND's growth and success. Learn how your gift to the UND Foundation can benefit you and your university. You can make a difference.
Let your job experience help you earn a degree in engineering while you continue to work. The University of North Dakota's Distance Engineering Degree Program offers the only ABET accredited undergraduate degree program at a distance. Instructors and classes are delivered to you through videotape and other technologies.
Allows you to have a class whenever you like.
UND Continuing Education and the School of Engineering and Mines, teaming up to bring quality education to your door.
Are you a parent looking for childcare? Do you know what good childcare looks like? Do you provide childcare and have questions? Does childcare affect your business? Do you have employees who are concerned about childcare? Doesn't every child deserve quality childcare? Any questions? Call Child Care Resource and Referral.
From the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks, this is Studio One.
Welcome back to Studio One.
Thank you for joining us today. Well, Kelly, something that somebody, almost everybody, comes in contact with in their life is a bully.
Monty, are you being picked on?
Not at this moment. My brother, you could say maybe he was a little bit of a bully, maybe picked on me a little bit.
Nobody ever picked on me.
Nobody?
I'm tough.
You're tough? So maybe you were a bully yourself.
No, not that either.
No? Okay. Well, you know, everybody comes in contact with a bully at some point in their life. And we have a segment later on in the show where we ask people their advice for kids that are being bullied.
We
and
got some
people
interesting comments when they look back on it
Yeah.
when they're once adults. So.
Interesting. Also coming up in the next 30 minutes on Studio One, people are used to drive-through service when it comes to things like fast food. We'll tell you about a special drive-through that provides people with a different kind of service.
Also, we'll visit a family farm where tradition runs deep. But this farm is home to some untraditional animals.
And adoption is a way children around the world get a second chance to live with a family. We'll talk to a woman who works with families every day that are trying to make this life-changing decision. But first, today's news with Haley Wamstead.
Thanks, Monty and Kelly. Police in Indonesia say they now have a suspect who has confessed to last month's nightclub bombing in Bali. The blast killed at least 180 people. A man named only as Rosie told interrogators that he was involved in planting a bomb in a minivan used in the October 12th attack. Investigators say Rosie was tracked down using wreckage of the vehicle recovered from the blast scene. 3 more suspects resembling police sketches remain in custody after being detained this week. Al-Qaeda has taken responsibility for the bombings by admitting to it on their website. In the West Bank, Palestinians are clashing once again with the Israeli military. The conflict erupted after Israel imposed a curfew in the city of Nablus. Reporters say at least one Palestinian schoolgirl was injured after she inhaled tear gas fired by Israeli soldiers. Israeli forces also destroyed the house of an Islamic militant. Officials say the man is believed to have helped plan a suicide bombing that killed 19 people on a Jerusalem bus this summer. More than 128 million people use cell phones in the United States. As cellular technology advances, most cell users upgrade their phones on a regular basis. This leaves many cell phones unused and unwanted. It is estimated that by 2005, 130 million cell phones will be thrown away each year in the U.S. These phones not only take up space in landfills, they also contain toxins which may damage the environment. The battery and certain other components of a cell phone may break down into harmful materials. One way the cellular industry is trying to avoid harming the environment is by recycling unwanted phones.
We have a lot of different technology changes going on right now in the cellular industry. And we try and encourage our customers as much as possible to donate their old cell phones or at least turn them in so that we can make sure that the batteries get recycled correctly.
Cellular dealers have started programs that donate unwanted cell phones to charity groups, women's shelters, and police departments to provide people with quick access for dialing 911. Researchers are trying to solve a problem that has left many scratching their heads in search of an answer. Over-the-counter shampoos are losing their effectiveness in killing head lice, which plague up to 12 million people a year. Scientists at the University of California say it's because the shampoo's active ingredient, DDT, has been used so much that the lice have developed a resistance to it. These scientists are now trying to replicate the conditions of a human scalp in order to study lice. They are hoping to come up with a stronger way to kill lice without harming humans. Most people usually think of a drive-thru as a service for picking up fast food, but many places in the U.S. are using a drive-thru for something a bit different.
As cars begin lining up early, the workers are inside preparing for a busy day. This may look like a lineup for a car wash or a fast food pickup window, but this drive-thru provides a different kind of service. The people here are getting drive-thru flu shots. It's a service provided by the Public Health Department in Grand Forks, North Dakota. When the cars pull into the garage, nurses walk up to the windows to give the shot. All the drivers have to do is stick out their arm. Many who came to get their shot say they are happy about the drive-thru clinic because of the convenience that it brings to their lives.
I think this is great. It beats trying to schedule time off work to go find some, get the place to have the kids get their shots at. So it saves me a lot of time.
This is the second year the Grand Forks Public Health Department and All True Hospital has put on the drive-thru clinic. And organizers say this one has been more successful because they did not have to deal with the late arrival of vaccines like they did last year. 1,000 doses of the vaccine were set aside for the clinic, but nurses went through more than half that amount. The purpose of this event is to make it more convenient for people to get their shots, especially high-risk groups.
We've had comments from older people who say this is much nicer. They don't have to find a parking space and they don't have to stand in lines. And young parents with children don't have to haul their kids out of the car and drag them into the clinic or up to the health department.
Many other states besides North Dakota organize drive-thru clinics, but usually they are in warmer climates.
Well, I think it's a great idea. This time of the year, we lucked out, no snow. But it's great, I like it.
So despite the long lines and the low temperatures, people were still willing to wait to get their shots in hopes of avoiding the flu later on. This is Jamie Hendrickson reporting for Studio One News.
An estimated 30 to 35 million Americans will come down with the flu this year, and now is the best time to get a flu shot. The shots usually take about 2 weeks before they become effective. And that's news for today. Monty and Kelly?
Thank you, Haley. Well, it is definitely, flu season is right around the corner.
Yeah, it's time to start bundling up when you go outside. Keep yourself healthy. Let's go to the Regional Weather Information Center now with John Randall to see what we have coming up. John?
Well, will we have to be bundling up anytime soon? We'll have that extended forecast coming up just a little bit. But first of all, let's take a look at Grand Forks' current conditions. Temperature right now has cooled off a little bit since the last hour, now sitting at 48 degrees, with dew point at 30 degrees, and west winds have slacked off just a little bit, now only at 5 miles an hour. People are preparing for the upcoming winter and much colder temperatures. It's time to start preparing your vehicle for the harsh environment that is soon to come.
As the season changes from cool to cold, the temperament of your vehicle will also change. To help your vehicle cope with the cold, all you need to do is winterize it.
And like around here, when it actually gets cold, your oils will start to flow thicker or gel up. The coolant, if it's too much water, will freeze up and not cool the engine down, so you'll overheat or crack something.
Winterizing your vehicle is easy and can be done by your local mechanic, or some people choose to do it right at home. Begin by changing your oil to winter grade. Winter grade oil is much thinner and still flows at cooler temperatures. The antifreeze, or coolant, should also be changed, or at least checked for its quality. The battery should be tested to make sure you have the extra power required to start the vehicle. Tires should be correctly inflated and still have adequate tread on them. There are also other important things to check when winter arrives. This is a general list of some of the more critical items to check. Winter can be a tough time of the year on you and your car, but a car that has been properly winterized will keep you warm and safe this winter season. Reporting for Studio One, I'm BJ Ison.
Well, with your car in good working condition, it's also wise to practice changing a flat tire. It may sound silly now, but you'll be glad you did it when it's 10 o'clock at night and 30 below. Well, lucky enough, we don't have to see any of that 30 below temperatures on our extended forecast. We'll be cooling off, unfortunately, though, especially as we work our way into Sunday and Monday, with the chance of some mixed precipitation on Saturday and some light snow on Sunday. And Monday, just those mostly cloudy skies. Weather IQ question, at what value on both the Fahrenheit and Celsius scales is the temperature the same? The answer is D, negative 40 degrees. So Monty and Kelly, things are going to be cooling off just a little bit, but we'll have to just take that warm air while we have it.
Thanks a lot, John, and thanks for a good forecast.
Thank you.
Not that he has that much control over it, but hey, it looks good to me.
I'll take the nice weather we're having right now. Let's go now to sports news again with Corey Morlock.
Thanks, Monty and Kelly. Curling is an extremely popular sport in Canada. However, go just south of the border, and participation in curling is not nearly as common. Many Canadians say the United States needs to get more involved in curling, or the sport may never spread.
Two-time world curling champion Al Hackner has been curling for more than 30 years. And over the past 3 decades, Hackner says he's seen his sport grow throughout Canada.
Hard! Don't lose it, hard!
However, he says he's worried the sport won't grow worldwide. Hackner says one more thing needs to happen before curling can really develop.
Curling will not take off to big time until the United States gets excited about it.
One attempt at attracting more Americans to curling is the Forks Curling Classic in Grand Forks, North Dakota. Now in its second year, the competition draws world-class curlers.
Some people say events like the Forks Curling Classic are a way to get people involved in curling in the U.S. One way to get the top professional curlers to come is to bring in the best ice makers in the world and transform hockey arenas like this into venues for curling.
Well, you could have a great event, but if you had bad rocks and bad ice, nobody'd come back. They really made all the difference in the world to have a quality event.
Hackner says by attracting some of the best curlers in the world, U.S. curling organizers can get more people involved in the sport. However, some professional curlers say more needs to be done before curling really takes off.
The best thing that can happen to curling is for a U.S. team to be winning a gold medal in the Olympics. that would be tremendous, because then the U.S. would get on board, I think, and really start having a lot of players.
Hard! Whoa, 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 whoa. All right.
While curling is a lifelong sport, both Hackner and Asham say it's important to try to get people involved early.
Sports is obviously very big in the high schools here in the United States, and you got to get curling. Someone's got to get the curling established in the high schools.
Hackner says he's excited about the increased awareness about curling since the Olympics, but he says many curlers believe the sport will not grow worldwide until curling becomes a common activity in the U.S.
Some curlers say there's a foothold in the northern states, but for curling to really grow, it will take involvement from some southern states as well. They say artificial ice allows United States curlers to practice year-round. Now the time for the answer to this week's Studio and Sports Trivia question. This week's question, curling originated in which country? Answer today is Scotland, with curling back around in the 16th century. That's sports for today. Monty and Kelly.
Thanks a lot, Corey. Well, many parents place their greatest gift in other people's care. The gift of a child is one that is often overlooked. Coming up, we'll talk about a program where people are given a second chance at parenthood.
Also, it's common knowledge that we get our milk from cows and our eggs from chickens, but many people are unaware that the healthiest burger in town may come from a buffalo. That story is next on Studio One.
UND's Conflict Resolution Center is your regional training resource for conflict transformation and prevention. Conflict is inevitable in the business world. Your ability to manage it is key to your success. That's where we can help. We provide on-site training, mediation, and facilitation services customized for your organization. The UND Conflict Resolution Center, capturing the positive energy of conflict and transforming it into human potential.
Explore the educational opportunities available through the Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota. With just one phone call or a click of the mouse, you'll find high-quality programs designed for today's adults. We have a large selection of continuing education courses that are available at a time and place that's convenient for you. Discover a world of learning through the Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota.
You're watching Studio One from the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks.
Growing up is hard to do. Children face many challenges and hardships on the rocky road to adulthood. One of the challenges they face is being bullied by their peers. The National Association of School Psychologists and the U.S. Department of Justice estimate 160,000 students miss school every day because of bullying. We wanted your thoughts on bullies.
I think that if a child has got a counselor or teacher, a neighbor in their life who they can go to, they're awfully lucky.
I would suspect the best answer is to tell them to go to a teacher or a counselor or their parents, but what you really want to tell them is have a baseball bat and take it to the kneecaps. That'll cover everything.
Well, it's not really advice, but this is what my mother told me when I was a child. She said, you don't start fights, but if somebody hits you first, you darn sure stand up for yourself and you hit them back.
Just ignore them. They're not even, act like they don't exist. That usually worked really well.
Trying to avoid the kid that was giving him problems. If talk it over with your parents, or maybe go to advice to your brothers or siblings. And if that didn't work, I guess I'd tell them that they have to stick up for themselves.
They're big, brown, and mysterious creatures, and they have roamed the Great Plains of North America for thousands of years. Although almost faced with extinction, this animal has grown in numbers and provides some of the healthiest meat available.
This may seem like an average farm, but once you travel down this long dirt road, you soon realize that this is home to a different kind of animal. Doug Earl and his family are the fourth generation to live on the farm and have raised bison for nearly 3 decades.
Out of curiosity, we picked up the Minneapolis Tribune back in 1972, and a guy had a cow and a bull for sale. Majority of us that did get into this industry about 20, 25 years ago bought them as a hobby.
The buffalo is called the original health food for a reason.
Buffalo is naturally lean. It's a high protein, low cholesterol source just because of the fat content.
Doug says the more imagination you use and the way you cut the buffalo, the better it will be.
But from here on will be considered your better cuts. Your rib, your sirloin, your T-bone, and the insides, your tenderloin, and then your round on top. But you will notice it does have a darker color, and that's what you want. The bloom in the meat is what sells it.
A lot of work goes into raising bison. Hired help and Doug's own son help with the chores.
Like every morning we get up, feed corn silage, just chop up corn, make sure they got plenty of hay, and every once in a while we'll get some beet pulps or beet screening or whatever, just feed them, keep them around.
The Earls say the bison are usually a quiet and reserved animal, but you better keep your distance.
Well, you have to respect them because they've been raised as a wild animal through the generations. And I always say you can trust them as long as you respect them.
It's hard not to respect an animal with so much history. Doug and his family have found that perfect balance between running a family farm and continuing the bison's life on the plains. Here at Siouxland Buffalo Ranch, I'm Kristen Gillick reporting for Studio One.
In contrast to other meats, buffalo meat is also non-allergenic. No one to date has had a reaction to buffalo meat. Pregnancy at certain times in a person's life can seem like the end of the world. With help, things can get worked out and options can be discussed. For some, the choice of adoption can be the greatest gift ever given to a child. We'll talk with an adoption counselor next on Studio One.
The University of North Dakota Alumni Association and Foundation, together with thousands of alumni and friends, are making a difference at UND. Thanks to generous private support, many students have experienced the rich history, tradition, and spirit of the University of North Dakota. UND alumni and friends understand the importance of education and are proud to be part of UND's growth and success. Learn how your gift to the UND Foundation can benefit you and your university. You can make a difference.
Let the University of North Dakota become your strategic partner by providing your business with skills to enhance your workforce retention and productivity efforts. The UND Office of Workforce Development has extensive experience in conducting employee satisfaction research, workforce needs assessments, and the development of customized training materials. Call us for further information. Workforce Development, a service of the Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota.
The School of Law at the University of North Dakota. This is a unique place, a place where you can learn with some of the best technology, where you can talk to the faculty in small class settings, a place where student activity groups enhance your education, a place which offers interaction with the court system, an affordable place where you can gain all the skills you need to get a job. Take your place at the University of North Dakota School of Law. Phone 1-800-CALL-UND.
Why should I go to the University of North Dakota School of Engineering and Mines? Is it the small class sizes and personal attention I'll get from the faculty and staff? Is it the hands-on student projects my friends and I will work on? Is it the professional internship programs that'll help me prepare for my future career? Maybe I just want to be a part of something amazing.
Find out for yourself what makes the UND School of Engineering and Mines the perfect choice for your engineering degree. Call 1-800-CALL-UND. That's 1-800-CALL-UND.
The Graduate School at the University of North Dakota is the premier graduate school of the Northern Great Plains, offering advanced degrees in more than 50 fields of study. Our innovative and flexible programs give full-time students, as well as working professionals, the opportunity to study under the guidance of nationally and internationally recognized faculty. Advance your career with a master's or doctoral degree from the Graduate School at the University of North Dakota.
The National Center for Resource Family Support says more than 130,000 children are waiting to be adopted in the U.S. alone this year. Many children are searching for a stable and loving environment. Adoption is a way that can help make that happen. Pregnancy and adoption counselor Andrea Storbakken works with families who are considering the choice of adoption. Thank you for coming on the show today, Andrea.
Thanks for having me.
Well, you're an adoption option counselor.
Yes.
And what exactly do you do?
Well, I provide both pregnancy and adoption services. So I work with women and men who have an untimely pregnancy and are coming to figure out, what do I need to do here? Make some decisions regarding, do they want a parent or do they want to look at making an adoption plan? And then I also work with families who are looking at adding a child to their family and want to learn about the different options that are available so that they can adopt a child.
Okay. Now, family planning services also give counseling. How is this different?
Well, I think when you initially utilize a family planning type service, a lot of times that's an initial service where you're maybe getting a pregnancy test and just learning about what's available in the community. I then can provide more long-term service, whether we can look at what are the resources, do some actually decision making to figure out what is the best plan here. So I may work with somebody when they first find out that they're pregnant, anytime throughout their pregnancy, and sometimes I get a call right from the hospital after a baby's been born.
Okay, and you have a personal connection to this program, and how did this program affect your life?
Well, I didn't really think about adoption as something I would do with my career, but as I got into pregnancy counseling and adoption, I realized that I've been touched in several ways. I do have a 7-year-old child, and so I think, myself too, being pregnant at age 20, knew that, I need somebody to talk to, and I need to figure out what's out there, who can help me here. And I also had an older brother too that had considered relinquishing a child, and he did place his child for adoption. So, I certainly has had a personal aspect, and I think then when I meet with women and men, I certainly know how scary it is, how overwhelming it is, and how I don't think people want somebody to tell them what they should or shouldn't do. I think they want somebody that can really encourage them to figure out what they think is best for themselves and their child.
Right, so they can make the decision themselves and make the right decision.
Right.
Okay. Now, what kind of different adoptions are available for people?
Well, there's several different options, and I think it can be very overwhelming, but domestically, people can do what is called a North Dakota infant adoption, and that would be when I'm working with birth families and they're selecting adoptive parents, they may select somebody from the state of North Dakota. People can do what's called an interstate adoption, where they can look to other states and bring that child back with them. And then also international adoption, where people actually go to other countries like Russia or China and bring that child home. And there's also special needs adoption, where we have children right now that are waiting for forever families. And then the last one would be what's called an identified adoption, where birth families, they identify somebody in their community, whether it be a relative or a friend of the family, that they would like to adopt their child.
Okay. Now, mothers, of course, are involved with the adoption process. How are the fathers involved?
Well, hopefully they're very involved, and I think we really try to encourage that. The best thing is that they're coming in, they're getting counseling themselves, and that they're very involved every step of the way. If an adoption plan is made, birth fathers need to consent in the state of North Dakota. So regardless of the situation that is bringing somebody to talk with me, I do need to contact the father.
Okay. Now, you talked a little bit about the steps that have to be taken. What is the process like?
To adopt?
Yes.
Okay. Well, initially somebody calls and they do a lot of asking questions, gather a lot of information to figure out what would be the best option as far as the route they want to take. All families that adopt have to have an assessment completed. Sometimes you hear people call it a home study. Generally that takes 2 to 3 months, and we do a lot of things like background checks. We meet with them a number of times to talk about many different issues. And then what they do is they either wait for a referral, whether it be from a country, or they wait to be selected by a birth family. And then we move forward to placement.
Okay. What is the most rewarding part for you in this whole process?
Well, I think it's always rewarding, and I think that's the really great thing, is that we are making families, and whether all parts of what's going on are very involved. The birth family is making a plan because they love their child and they want to be thinking about what's in the best interest, and the adoptive family is adding that child. And then the child benefits as well, because it has a birth family and an adoptive family that truly cares and loves for that child.
Sure. Well, it's a very interesting process. Thank you for coming on the show and telling you about it today.
Okay.
Thanks. You're watching Studio One from the University of North Dakota. We'll be back right after this.
Tradition runs deep among American Indian people. One of those traditions is helping others. At the University of North Dakota, Native American Programs is dedicated to helping students succeed. Our support services include tutoring and financial aid assistance. We have more American Indian programs than any other university in the U.S., making UND a leader in Indian education. Be a part of our tradition. Call 1-800-CALL-UND.
Let your job experience help you earn a degree in engineering while you continue to work. The University of North Dakota's Distance Engineering Degree Program offers the only ABET accredited undergraduate degree program at a distance. Instructors and classes are delivered to you through videotape and other technologies.
Allows you to have a class whenever you like.
UND Continuing Education and the School of Engineering and Mines, teaming up to bring quality education to your door.
At UND Aerospace, let your future take flight. Plan your education in the most technologically advanced collegiate and contract aerospace training environment on the planet. Graduates work for top agencies and fly for every major airline nationwide. Study on campus, via distance learning, or at any of our facilities, and you'll be where the aviation industry leaders of tomorrow are today. UND Aerospace at the University of North Dakota, Grand Forks.
Are you a parent looking for childcare? Do you know what good childcare looks like? Do you provide childcare and have questions? Does childcare affect your business? Do you have employees who are concerned about childcare? Doesn't every child deserve quality childcare? Any questions? Call Child Care Resource and Referral.
Voller Insurance partners with you in protecting what matters most. For more than 50 years, Voller has built its reputation on its people, its clients, and a commitment to VIP service. Voller Insurance, Fargo, Bismarck, Grand Forks. Voller Insurance understands that the strength of its people is its greatest asset. People that tailor insurance protection that meets your needs. That's the key to VIP service. Voller Insurance, Fargo, Bismarck, Grand Forks.
Studio One is celebrating 15 years of excellence. We've learned to do many things on the show through the years. We've had guests who have demonstrated some interesting and fun things. Here's a look at a few of them.
This is the hottest item on the market today.
It's about a $600 mountain bike, and we've got it pretty well decked out.
Yes, we do.
We're going to plant these. These are red tulips.
Okay.
Well, as you know, you can eat fish all you want, and it's very, very healthy for you.
That was just great. You know, the food segments are the best because the food has to go somewhere right after you're finished.
We take care of that.
That's right. We had grilled shrimp that day. Well, tune in next week on Studio One. We'll see how one gas station holds on to tradition by pumping your gas for you. Plus, we'll have other news and entertainment stories for you.
From all of us here at Studio One, have a great week.